Bobby with a drive. Deep center field. Diaz back. He's out of room. We're out of here. Giambi wins it with a home run in the bottom of the ninth. And I'll tell you what, watch this celebration, and they're going to give him the beating of his life now. The man they call Big G delivers in a big way in the bottom of the ninth.
God, this is what keeps me coming back every single year. There's no greater feeling in this world to contribute with this ball club. I mean, so proud of them, the way they played, and this is a big ball game for us.
From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, it's Indians baseball. Tonight, the Tribe continues their 4-game series against the Chicago White Sox. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Last night's win was a thriller for the Tribe, and now everyone is sort of holding their collective breath around Major League Baseball as we count down to tomorrow's 4 p.m. Eastern Time trading deadline. There's a lot of rumors out there right now involving Chicago White Sox starting pitcher Jake Peavy, but up until this point, nothing has happened. However, just in case, Rick, they have scratched him from his scheduled start tonight.
Well, then you know there's talks about Peavy going somewhere else. He did beat the Indians earlier this year, pitched a great game after he gave up a solo home run to leadoff batter Michael Bourne and settled in. He's a guy that I'm sure some team would love to have. It's just how much do they want for him in return?
Brazilian native Andre Rienzo will make the start tonight for Chicago. He'll be the first Brazilian-born player ever to pitch in a Major League Baseball game. And, of course, Scott Kazmir will go for the Tribe. The left-hander has been on quite a roll for the Indians.
Boy, he certainly has. His last 7 games, he has been lights out. A 3.0 record, a 1.60 ERA. He's only given up 11 hits in his last 4 starts, and he's a strike-throwing machine. He's found his arm slot. The one he used to have, his sliders got more bite to it. Very good changeup, and this guy has been pounding the strike zone. He is 3-1 against the Central Division, 5-0 at home.
The Indians did make a trade this afternoon, acquiring left-hander Mark Zepchinski from the St. Louis Cardinals, some bullpen depth. Now, left-hander, obviously something that they have been looking for. We'll talk about that more during tonight's telecast. Well, after last night's thrilling win, the Indians fans were dancing in the streets. Now they look to continue their role against the gang from the south side of Chicago. Scott Kazmir will look to keep the Indians in the win column. The play-by-play action is coming up next. Another perfect evening in downtown Cleveland for baseball as the Indians take the field in search of their 6th win in a row. They begin the night 2.5 back of front-running Detroit in the American League Central Division. Their opponent, the Chicago White Sox, have lost 4 straight, and they occupy the cellar in the AL Central. Scott Kazmir on the mound for the Indians tonight. And let's take a look at Robin Ventura's starting 9 for Chicago. Alejandro De Aza will lead it off. Alexei Ramirez in the 2-hole, followed by Alex Rios. Paul Konerko will hit cleanup, then it's Adam Dunn. Jeff Keppinger will bat 6th. Dayan Viciedo is hit in 6 straight games for the White Sox. He'll bat 7th, followed by Gordon Beckham and then Josh Fegley.
It'll be Scott Kazmir on the mound for the Indians, and he has been on some kind of roll in his last 7 starts. He is 3-0, an excellent ERA, 160. He has given up just 11 hits in his last 4 starts. And I mean, this guy got his last road win in Seattle, but he could have had 4 more prior to that were no decision. So he has been very, very good. Good slider, good changeup to go along with a fastball. He's been able to move in and out. Let's check out the Kia Indians defense behind Kazmir tonight. It stacks up this way. Looks like this. Brantley in left, Bourne in center, Swisher is in right, Chisenhall at third, Cabrera at short, Kipnis is at second. Santana tonight gets the start at first because Jan Gomes is behind the plate.
Calling the balls and strikes, veteran umpire Bob Davidson. DJ Rayburn is at first. The crew chief, John Hirschbeck, at second. James Hoy down at third. Ready to go tonight. Alejandro De Aza will lead it off. De Aza, one of just 2 left-handed bats in the lineup tonight for Robin Ventura's gang. De Aza has swung the bat well against lefties. He's batted .322 against southpaws. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's fouled off, and it had Gordon Beckham scampering out of the way at the end of the White Sox dugout.
Scott Kazmir hasn't made a start against the White Sox since 2010. In his career, he is 3-5 against them.
There's a line drive toward right field. That will drop for a base hit. And De Aza aboard to start the game for Chicago. His first hit in the series. Here are the keys to the game tonight, brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital. Well, for Scott Kazmir, we told you he's been on a roll, 7 straight terrific starts. Can he make it 8 straight? We'll find out. And offensively, you look to get the early lead on Andre Rienzo, making his major league debut here tonight. Alexei Ramirez looks at a ball in the dirt. Ramirez 1 for 4 last night. And over his last 40 games, he's batted over .300, a .316 mark. Ramirez, the problems he's had this year have been when he's out on the field. He has committed 17 errors on the year, and that's a lot of errors when you're talking about a guy who plays in the middle of the diamond. High pop, right center field, Nick Swisher. Tell you what, nice recovery by Swisher. I think he thought Bourne was coming over to take it. He gave up on it just momentarily, but luckily he was able to take over and get it.
He's saying, my bad, go over. Even though Michael Bourne's a center fielder and he will call you off, that cannot stop you from going over and at least hustling over to catch the ball. I mean, and he realized, boy, I bet his heart skipped a beat when he looked over and Bourne was nowhere in sight. Still able to catch the ball.
Alex Rios steps in now.
See, sometimes that's the difference when you're bouncing a swisher, you know, back and forth, playing first, going to the outfield. Normally Stubbs out there, those guys got a nice little relationship going. But you just have to continue to go over and be aggressive as an outfielder, and Bourne will let you know.
Rios looks at a strike, and that'll even the count of 1-1. De Aza with a dozen stolen bases on the year. Kazmir does a pretty good job with the run game. He's taken off on this pitch, though, and Rios fouls it back.
Well, that's one thing Chicago has to do. They have to try and steal bases. And with De Aza, he has 12. Ramirez has 23. Rios 22. You know, the way they score runs, they're last in the league. They have scored 381. Normally, they hit the long ball. They only have 96. That's rated 12th in the league. So they have to try and do something instead of stay pat and play for the long ball. You've got to make something happen, and that's why they're starting to run a lot more.
One on, one out, 1-2 pitch. Runner holds this time, and Rios fouls it out of play to the right. Paul Konerko waits on deck. Lob toss over to first. De Aza not far from the bag. There's a ground ball in the hole and a base hit to left field for Rios. A pair of singles here in the first inning. And Chicago threatening now with one out.
That was a changeup right there that Rios got a hold of and found the hole. Look at it on our Nissan pitch tracker. Wasn't bad. It was away and it was down. And Rios just got enough of it and he gets it through the infield. So first and second now with one out. Yeah, the time to get Kazmir is try and get him early. First 3 innings, his ERA this year is at 4.53. And opponents are hitting 273. From the 4th inning on, it's down to 330. So he really settles into the ball game. They're trying to get him out of his rhythm early.
Up high with a pitch to Paul Konerko. He was 1 for 4 last night in the 8 games he's played since coming off the disabled list. Konerko has 6 hits and 27 at bats. He had a strained lower back that landed him on the DL for a good chunk of this month. Right field, back is Swisher. He makes the catch. Tagging at second and going to third is De Aza, but now there are 2 down. Our Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index. In the month of July, the opposition is hitting just $157 against Kazmir coming in. Chris Archer at Tampa Bay holds the best mark at a 140 average against, and you see Justin Masterson also among the league leaders.
He had to go to the car wash today to clean up from that interview last night.
There's a drive into the gap in right center field. White Sox will play from in front tonight as De Aza scores. Coming around third, Rios being waved home. He'll score 2. Adam Dunn delivers with a 2-out, 2-run double, and Chicago takes a 2-0 lead. He plugged the gap with a ringing double up the alley.
He left that fastball up and out over the plate, and the big man got some extension and found the gap. The White Sox had 3 doubles and a triple in last night's game. Well, they're going to start with a double here that drives in a pair for Dunn, his 64th, 65th RBI. So Chicago strikes first, 2-zip.
That ends the Indians' streak of scoring first in 16 straight games.
Well, that goes to show you that most of the time, they shut them out in the first and they come in and they have an opportunity. Today, the opportunity's not even there. But they'll get it to answer as soon as he gets the third out.
Well, Jeff Keppinger, normally not an easy out in these situations. He's batted .299 on the year with a runner in scoring position. And he's got the count tilted in his favor now at 2-0. Keppinger taking, it's in there for a strike. Keppinger with a fly ball, shallow left. Brantley is there, calls for it, makes the grab. White Sox strike first. They get a pair on the board. The Indians are coming to bat. Tonight for Terry Francona, it's brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Michael Bourne leads it off, then it's Nick Swisher, followed by Jason Kipnis. As Drupal Cabrera, Michael Brantley, and Carlos Santana. Last night's hero, Jason Giambi, with a pinch hit walk-off home run. Then Lonnie Chisenhall and Yan Gomes. Michael Bourne takes a fastball, and it's in there for a called strike. That's the first major league pitch for Andre Rienzo. Brazilian-born pitcher. He's the first Brazilian native to pitch in a major league game. Michael Bourne fouls it back. And Rienzo got the call up to start tonight because the White Sox decided to scratch Jake Peavy from his scheduled start tonight. He'll handle the tapper. Flips it to first, one away.
Let's check out that White Sox defense behind Rienzo. Viciedo in left, De Asa in center, Rios is in right, Keppinger at third, Ramirez at short, Beckham at second, Dunn is at first, Bigley behind the plate. Rienzo, you can see AAA, 20 starts, 8-6 record. 113 strikeouts in his 113 innings. Has allowed 7 home runs. And that ball that Bourne just hit on the ground, you can see he has a curveball as well.
Fastball outside. to Nick Swisher, who was 0 for 3 with a walk last night. 2-0 the count. There's a lot of talk about Jake Peavy being sought after by a number of teams before this trading deadline comes and goes tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And so the White Sox, who have obviously been in discussions with teams about Jake Peavy, you don't want to take a chance if you can trade him and send him out there tonight and have him
get injured,
come up lame or get hurt or anything like that.
And you know what? The trading deadline, as you mentioned, is at 4 o'clock tomorrow. And if they don't trade him by then, he's starting tomorrow night. Right. So you just push him back a day if it doesn't happen.
It's a very difficult time for the White Sox, and we've been through it with the Indians. When you're out of it and you know you're a seller at this time of year, a lot of people just on kind of walking around on eggshells. You don't know what's going to happen. You're not sure if it's you that's going to be traded, or if the rumors are true and it's so-and-so's name's been out there on the TV or on the radio or the internet.
Well, just in the food room tonight, there's well over a dozen scouts here, and have been for the last few days. I mean, 12 to 15. Now, who they're here to see and looking at, you never know. Could be both teams.
A ball and 2 strikes the count here on Kipnis. Rienzo with a 1-2. Kipnis slugs one toward left. Viciedo a long run, makes the catch, and the Indians go 1-2-3. After an inning, it's Chicago 2, Cleveland nothing. Seeing 3 exciting new quarter pounders, and by Kia. Two 0 Chicago leads it as we go to the second inning. Bottom third of the White Sox order due up here. Dayan Viciedo will lead it off. Ironically, the last team to score 2 runs in the first inning against the Indians was these same Chicago White Sox back on June 28th. That was the first game of that doubleheader that turned into a wild one, a game the Indians would come back and win 19-10.
Okay. They came back and had a huge inning, a 5-run inning as well, didn't they, after they scored?
Viciedo fouls it right back. 2-1 the count. Bloop towards center. But Bourne is there to run it down, one away. Our injury report tonight brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. There's a look at some of the injured players for Chicago. Dwayne Wise and hamstring problem. Brian Omogrosso coming out of that bullpen with a tricep problem, and Gavin Floyd on the 60-day DL with an elbow. Here's Gordon Beckham. Beckham's trying to get it going again. Offensively, he is mired in a lengthy slump. 0 for his last 20. Not a play. Josh Tomlin taking in this ball game alongside Lou Marson. Lou on the DL along with Tomlin, who's recovering from Tommy John surgery, but Josh just recently pitched in a game. Beckham will snap the 0 for 20 with a base hit toward left field. He's going to go for 2. Brantley with the throw, and Beckham beats him to the bag for a 1-out double. So Scott Kazmir is having his troubles here in the early going. Already 4 hits now for Chicago.
Well, a good attempt by Beckham to go ahead and hustle with 1 out to get yourself into scoring position. Brantley, a guy with a good throwing arm. He's been very good this year. With the assist, gets it in just a tad late. He was going away from the play and had to stop, turn, and throw. He has 9 assists on the year, Brantley does.
Josh Fegley, the White Sox catcher, he scorches one right up the middle. Another base hit. They're going to wave him home. Here comes Bourne's throw to the plate. It's up the first base line. The tag not in time. They said Beckham beat Gomes to the plate. It was very close as Jan had to stretch back across the dish and try to apply the tag. It's now 3-0 White Sox.
Yeah, the throw a little bit offline, and that was very risky over there. But when you have a lead, you can afford to be aggressive. It's early in the ball game, and they send him. And it looked like Beckham did get the foot in there because the throw was over towards the first base side of the plate.
Oh, he's out.
He slid
Never
on top
touched the
of
plate.
the glove.
Never touched the plate.
You know what? I didn't see that. Watch, his foot stayed up in the air, and he actually hit the glove of Gomes. Wow, good shot, boys.
Well, that's 2 nights in a row now, a play at home plate, and where the umpire, he's blocked out. He can't see that from where he's standing.
Look, he stepped right on the glove. Okay, he was out at home plate. Now, this is where replay can be used. Play just like that.
The play last night involving the Red Sox and the Rays was very similar to the one we just saw right here.
He thought he was blocked out because he was behind the catcher. But when the same thing, the umpire's behind the catcher, so they get blocked out a little bit. And he goes sliding in, but he doesn't know if that foot's down or up. And it never touched the plate. It hit the glove of Gomes. So he's saying he's safe. He got in there, but that was, the replay. I want to see more replay by next year.
I think you're going to get your wish.
I think so, too. I hope so.
Strike is called, 2-1.
If that throw would have been a little more towards the center of home plate, he definitely would have been out. He was out anyway, but it would have made it a little easier, I think, for Gomes. He had to wait to make sure he could catch the ball.
Turns out it's a terrific play by Gomes. Matt Albers is already up and getting loose in the Tribe bullpen. You wonder, Rick, is there something physically maybe wrong with Scott Kazmir, or does Terry Francona feel like he just doesn't have it tonight?
Well, they're 5 for their first 9.
Yeah.
Coming out of the chute, so he doesn't want to fall behind by too much. It's already 3-0.
Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. 2-2 the count. Mickey Callaway, Indians pitching coach, looking on. His guys have been throwing it very well. In the last 18 games coming into tonight, Indians starting pitchers were 8-2 with a 1.89 ERA. Flipped out of play the other way. Pulls it towards first. Santana will step on the bag for out number 2. Josh Figley goes to second base. Wouldn't it stand to reason? I'm just thinking back on that play. And I know the umpires have their protocols and, how you get in position to make a call. But if you're the home plate umpire and you've got to play at the plate, if you go up the first baseline, that would seem like maybe the worst spot you could be in.
Well, they all do it.
Because if you're over there, you've got to look through the catcher to see if the guy gets to home plate.
That's the way they do it. They all go to that side.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them. It's like the umpire at second base for stolen bases. They're on the infield cut of the grass. They're always behind the guy.
Always behind it.
As he's diving into the base.
There's a chance you could get blocked out no matter where you go. There's always
No
that
question.
chance. Just seems like you'd be more likely to happen if you're over on the first base side.
You get replay involved into some of it, and you get a good look, and if you can truly see it and it's conclusive, then you could change it if you are blocked out. I mean, that's bang, bang. We're showing you slow motion. Those guys get one look, and it's full speed, and, I mean, they are right most of the time.
Yeah,
More times than they are not. So, I mean, you can't fault them. They're human. There are going to be mistakes made. And that was a close call. I didn't see it the first time. I thought he slid in safe when I saw it with my own eyes until we looked at the replay.
A 1-2 pitch. Out of play.
With the cameras and as many cameras that are in the game now, these guys have a tough job. And I think replay will help take some of the pressure off of those guys. Besides just fair and foul and home run calls.
One and two the count here on Alexei Ramirez. I think the biggest concern on a lot of people's minds anyway is they don't want to slow the game down any more than it already is.
You don't slow it down. Look how fast we showed you what that replay was.
That's us. How are they going to implement it so that it doesn't take 3 minutes
There's ways.
to get it done?
There's ways.
You have Joe Torre's number on speed dial?
No, I don't.
I want to share those ideas with him.
I wish I could.
Fouled back out of play.
Some of the times, by the time you're done arguing on calls that that are made and people don't think they're right, what difference is it? It'll be quicker.
Two pitch. Swung on and missed. He tied him up. So a close call at the plate. It goes against the Tribe, and the White Sox add a run to their lead. Callaway. He's allowed 3 runs on 5 hits through the first 2 innings. They had Matt Albers up in that bullpen cranking it up, but Kazmir survived. We'll see if he can get it together now. As Drupal Cabrera will lead off the second. Andre Rienzo in his major league debut set him down 1-2-3 in the first. Two and 0 the count. And Cabrera with a line drive single into right field. Let's go downstairs and join Katie Witham, who has the latest on the rumors surrounding Jake Peavy of the White Sox.
Yeah, Matt, I was in the White Sox clubhouse today, and Jake Peavy took some time to talk with reporters, and each said that no matter what happens in the next 24 hours, nothing will surprise him. And he credits the White Sox front office that's kept him in the loop pretty much the whole time, but he kept bringing it back to the only thing that he can really do right now is focus on preparing to start tomorrow's game. But Matt, I'll tell you, just being in that clubhouse today, it was a very somber one.
Brantley lines it into the glove of Dunn, and that's going to be an easy double play. Well, Michael hit it right on the nose, but hit it in a bad spot.
Yeah, line drive right at him. He barely off the bag. He still has to go to a backhand. Catches it before it hits the ground, and he can step right on first base. But the ball was hit right on the nose.
Not surprising, though, the attitude or the mood in the White Sox clubhouse. Unfortunately, we've been down that road many times in the past, and it's never easy to kind of come to the realization that the season is what it is, which is not going the way they wanted it to, and knowing that you're already kind of looking ahead and rebuilding for the future.
You know, compared to the years ago, there's so much media now. And I mean, everybody's talking about it, talk shows, who's going speculation. And, you know, if you're paying attention to that, if you're a player and you watch it, you can be affected by it. I can understand that. You don't know. You may not want to leave a team even though it's having a bad year, but that's not the nature of the game anymore.
Pop to shallow right. Beckham is out. He's called off by Rios, and the Indians are out on just 9 pitches. Through 2, Chicago 3, Cleveland nothing. 3-0 Chicago, top of the third. It'll be Alex Rios, Paul Konerko, and Adam Dunn. Rios singled to left his first time up. And he fouls this one off toward the left. Well, the Indians come into this game with a 5-game winning streak, but they're also now 9 games over 500, which equals their high water mark on the year, which they last were sitting at on May the 20th when they were 26-17. They'll have to work out of an early hole to keep that streak alive and get to 10 games over 500.
Well, so far, out of his the outs that he has, 8 batters have hit it in the air for Chicago off Kazmir. So you can see he was trying to get inside on Rios early in the count.
Popped him up, foul, back out of play. And a fastball strike on the outside corner to ring up Rios. 1 away.
Swing for the fences with the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. It's available on iPhone and iPad, and you can download it free today.
Here is Paul Konerko. Fly to right his first time up. Just a bit outside. 1-1 to count here on Konerko. The Indians so far this year have dominated the White Sox, winning 8 out of 10.
Boy, that's about the third one hit in there, into that camera bay. Pretty good numbers for Konerko against Kazmir in his career. But then again, Konerko's had good numbers against every Indians pitcher, it seems like.
That's smashed right back up the middle. 6th hit of the night for Chicago. And a 1-out base runner now for Adam Dunn. Adam Dunn has been on quite a tear. I mean, if you look at his season numbers, other than the home runs, not all that impressive, but over his last 42 games, he swung the bat at a .290 clip with a dozen of his homers and 32 runs driven in. Out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike. If you hadn't heard, the Indians before tonight's game made a trade with the St. Louis Cardinals, acquiring left-handed pitcher Mark Zepchinski, a relief pitcher, 27 years old. High, towering pop to left. Brantley makes the grab, 2 down. With more on the Indians' move to acquire some help for the bullpen, here's Chris Antonetti, Indians general manager.
Against lefties, they've been pretty good. I think he's only given up 2 extra base hits on the year against left-handed hitters. I think it's only 8 combined in 2 years. He hasn't been quite as successful at the major league level this year, but it's in a very small sample of left-handed hitters. And his stuff's still the same. He's got a very good fastball, 90-92, gets ground balls, and a good slider. He's been a guy that we've had interest in for quite a while. We liked him when he was with Toronto in the American League and have followed him since in the time he went over to the National League.
When he was with Toronto back in 2011, he was dealt to St. Louis, and he was a big help to the Cardinals when they won the World Series in 2011. Ripped foul left side.
Yeah, he stepped up at the right time in that year. He was at the prime time.
Indians sent infielder Juan Herrera, who was playing at the short season Mahoning Valley A-League team. The 0-2 pitch, and that's grounded foul third base side. Zepchinski expected to join the Indians ball club in the next day or so. And depending on what happens between now and tomorrow at 4 o'clock, there could be certainly more activity for the Indians. The 0-2 out of play. Keppinger always a tough out. Now the 0-2. Popped him up. Right near home plate. Yan Gomes ditches the mask. He's got it. Side retired. Kazmir puts up a 0. We'll go to the bottom of the third. 3-0 Chicago. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Jason Giambi leading off for the Tribe. Last night, his 436th career home run was a game winner in the bottom of the ninth. Our stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio Buick dealers, the oldest player to hit a walk-off homer in Major League Baseball history.
How about that?
Jason Giambi is one of those guys who, at this stage of his career, what he has meant to the team is not quantifiable by statistical analysis. Broke his bat, Ball goes
that
into
piece
center
stuck
field.
right in the ground, right out there next to the pitcher.
One away as the barrel, as you mentioned, it stuck right just to the side of the mound. Here's our great clip of the game from last night. Giambi's blast, and then the celebration.
Always a fun trot. His 10th pinch hit home run. There's a big hug for the manager. And that was only the 20th home run given up by the Sox bullpen this year. And it couldn't have come at a better time.
He told me today it never gets old.
No. How can it?
I think as you get to this stage in your career, it's something you cherish even more.
Yeah, because there's not many left.
He was reminiscing about the early days of his career, and he said, man, we used to come in here playing against the Indians, and this place was packed. You'd get late in the game like that, and he'd say, just don't let him get the leadoff guy on. And then, oh, the leadoff guy's on.
Yeah.
And he said you could just feel it. You could feel the wave of momentum coming, and the Indians, he said, they'd always find a way to hit a home run or get a big inning going and beat you in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, when teams are on a roll and they play well at home, you can sense it when you're out on the field. You know, when you're on the road and that happens, you can just feel it building up. The Indians have that brewing here. They have 8 walk-off wins this year. They're really doing it in fine fashion. Getting some of that magic back here in Progressive Field.
Meantime, Andre Rienzo in his major league debut does not look awed or overwhelmed by the moment.
Always helps when you can get a young pitcher making his major league debut a couple of runs early, and they got him right in the first inning. So not that he can sit back and relax, but it certainly makes it a little bit easier.
Chisenhall with a fly ball to right. Rios will make the catch, 2 down. Here's the AT&T trivia question tonight. 3 players in Indians history have hit a walk-off homer at age 40 or older. Who are those 3? We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. Right back up the middle. And that was a historic at bat right there. Rienzo pointing to Yan Gomes and saying, all right, my fellow countrymen, you got me. It's the first time ever 2 Brazilians have gone head-to-head. Rienzo is the first Brazilian to ever pitch in a ball game. Yan Gomes, the first Brazilian to ever make it to the major leagues. And here are the 2 countrymen going head-to-head.
That gives him bragging rights. I don't know. That ball was going down. Don't know if it was a changeup, but he was aggressive early. Goes right back up the middle, gets the base hit. So they shared a nice little smile.
Mm-hmm. Yan Gomes talked about getting a call from Pele. I mean, you have to. It's hard for us to imagine the enormous amount of national pride for these 2 young men. Quick throw to first, and he almost picked him off.
And he's not. Yeah, he would have had the next laugh if he does. Because Gomes isn't going anywhere. He just caught him drifting out. He was hands on his knees, but he just did get back.
1 ball, 1 strike. Michael Bourne, a comebacker to the mound his first time up. Chopped in the hole. Ramirez trying to go to second. What a stretch by Beckham. That was a very close play, but Gordon Beckham, making like a first baseman, went to the stretch, and the side is retired. At it. They're working overtime. Well past quitting time, but they're still at it. It's been impressive to watch him construct that bridge over the summer.
Well, it'll be done by next year,
You
right?
would think so, yeah. Ian Viciedo fly to center his first time up. Off the end of the bat to first, and an easy play here for Carlos Santana, one away. Let's head back downstairs to Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, we have an action-packed night here at the ballpark tomorrow night. It's Sugardale Dollar Dog Night. It's also fireworks, and the first 10,000 fans through the gate will take home a mesh trucker's hat. It's all presented by Shears. And remember, tomorrow night's game is also part of the ticket exchange, so any fans that had tickets to that May 31st rain delay game, you can be here tomorrow night with us. Check it all out online at Indians.com.
All right, thanks, Katie. Hope to see you down here at the ball yard tomorrow night. And then, of course, this series wraps up with a 12 o'clock start on Thursday. Swung on and missed. It's 0-2. Kazmir settling into a bit of a groove now after he had a rocky start, giving up 2 in the first, 1 more in the second. Though replay confirmed he should not have allowed, or he should have been able to get out of that second inning without allowing a run. Gordon Beckham was thrown out at home plate, but the call went against him. That was a very good looking pitch. And it's called a ball, 2-2. Now the 2-2. Swung on and missed. He came back and struck him out anyway. Third K for Kazmir. 2 down here in the fourth. And here's our AT&T U-verse rewind. Watch Michael Bourne's throw. It's a little bit offline, but Yomes does a nice job to go across the dish. He applies the tag, and you see the foot of Beckham never touched home plate. He stepped right on the glove of Gomes, and he should have been called out, but he was called safe.
Well, that was the third run. Didn't realize his foot came in. If it stayed on the ground and had the plate, it would have been fine, but it did not.
Three 3-0 the count on Josh Fegley, who snapped an 0 for 14 with an RBI single in the second inning. Funny when you think back on it, in that inning when Beckham scored the run that should not have counted, he broke an 0 for 20. Fegley broke an 0 for 14. Full count. The payoff pitch is fouled right back. Now time called as Kazmir and Gomes will go through the signs once again.
Oh boy, he had to dig that one out.
I'd say he got in his kitchen a little bit.
You
Carlos
think?
Santana negotiates the mound, no problem. 1-2-3 for the White Sox for the first time tonight.
Tribe will host the LA Angels on August 10th, and it's the first 10,000 fans will receive a Rocky Colavito replica Hall of Fame plaque. It's also the second night of the Rockin' Blast, and it's all courtesy of Progressive Insurance. So log on to Indians.com for your tickets. We're on a short little jaunt down to Miami for 3 days, then we head home for a week. And over that weekend, Rocky Colavito will be in town. It'll be his 80th birthday. It'll be a lot of fun.
But prior to that, 4 huge games between the Indians and the Detroit Tigers. And I guess I didn't realize it, but that's the last time we'll see the Tigers in Cleveland this year.
Well, the last time they came in was for 4 games. They won 3 out of 4. They come in for 4 again. And then we only go to Detroit one more time because we played them a lot early.
Nothing into the count on Swisher. So hopefully you can make your plans to be with us when the Indians come back home to take on the Tigers. Those are going to be 4 big games.
Yeah, they picked up a half a game yesterday because the Tigers are off, so it's 2.5 going into tonight.
Man, Nick Swisher's out on 3 pitches here in the 4th. First strikeout for Rienzo. Here's a look at the Indians' upcoming schedule after these 4 with Chicago are finished up. Down to Miami for 3, then back home. The 4 big ones against Detroit, followed by the weekend against the Angels. Then they'll hit the road for a long road trip. The Twins at Oakland for a 3-game series, then on to Anaheim to take on the Angels for 3 there. Jason Kipnis flied to left his first time up. When you watch Rienzo pitch, he's got that abbreviated delivery. Almost a right-handed version of Cliff Lee, just in terms of the delivery. I mean, there's nothing to it.
Yeah, just a little, yes. I see what you're saying with that little left foot where it goes back.
Mm-hmm.
He goes back just a little farther, I think, than Cliff, but it's very similar.
Mechanically, there's not much that can go wrong with it. 2-2 the count.
Rienzo has had 6 0-2, 1-2 counts on the Indians so far, so he has done what he has to do, pitch from in front.
He struck out 2 in a row here in the 4th inning. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com is Travis Benjamin ready to contribute for the Browns. Ohio State's Carlos Hyde gets some good news. And will the Indians make a bigger splash than the one they made today? They dealt for a left-hander, Mark Zepchinski, but will they make a bigger move before the deadline tomorrow? It's all on FoxSportsOhio.com. As Dribble Cabrera singled his first time up.
Back-to-back hooks. Looks like he's really into a rhythm right now.
Wow. Hot knife through butter. He struck out the side here in the 4th inning, and the White Sox still lead it 3-0. Brought to you by the wireless receiver only from AT&T Uverse. Rethink possible. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. 3-0 in favor of the White Sox as we go now to the 5th inning. Top of the order for Chicago, Alejandro De Aza. Caught the outside corner.
Scott had his first 1-2-3 inning back in the 4th. And as he retired 5 straight. Came up, it seemed like he didn't really have a lot of command early in that first inning where they were able to get 3 hits.
Roped foul down the right side. Nice grab, young man. That's why you bring the glove.
And they look like Sox fans, too. So he brings his glove, makes a nice play. Nice catch. Goes home with a souvenir.
Kazmir's 2-2. Piazza ropes it into right field. Leadoff man aboard for Chicago here in the 5th. That snaps a string of 5 in a row set down by Kazmir. Get ready for Fox Sports 1, America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for live sports, news, highlights, and shows that only Fox can bring you. America's new sports network is Fox Sports 1 coming August 17th. Alexei Ramirez 0 for 2 on the night. Bounce to third. Chisenhall to second. There's one. Kipnis turns, a double play. Around the horn they go to erase a potential rally here in the 5th.
Well, it doesn't get any easier than this. A nice one-hopper to your third baseman. He just give a good feed over to your second baseman. You turn it. So it's Chisenhall to Kipnis to Santana.
Alex Rios takes a strike. The Pittsburgh Pirates took over first place in the National League Central Division from the reeling St. Louis Cardinals. They beat them 2-1 today. Cards have lost 5 in a row now. And there are rumors that the Pirates and the White Sox have been talking about a trade involving this guy, Alex Rios. The problem, according to the reports, is the money still owed to Rios and how much the White Sox would be willing to pick up in a potential trade.
That's always, I think, the toughest thing when you have to deal now. You have to look at the contracts of the players.
Ripped to third, backhanded by Chisenhall. He sets, he throws, got him. Another strong inning of work for Scott Kazmir. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still Chicago 3, Cleveland nothing. The Indians have just 2 hits tonight, both of them singles, off rookie right-hander Andre Rienzo, making his major league debut. The 25-year-old native of Brazil, the first Brazilian-born pitcher to pitch in a major league game, and he has been impressive.
He's holding his own, isn't he?
He's been aggressive.
He just struck out the side in the 4th, and that was Swisher, Kipnis, and Cabrera.
Well, and he's been, as you mentioned before, he's been 0-2-1-2 to a lot of hitters. And the White Sox got him a couple of runs early, so he's been pitching from in front. Outside with a fastball, and the count 1-1. 11 out of 14. First pitch strikes for this young man. Big curveball, and he drops that in for a strike.
That has been a very good pitch for him. It goes down to 73. He's not all that overpowering, but I'll tell you, he's changed the eye level of the hitters. He's throwing that slow curveball. It starts up above the head and goes down. And he's elevated this fastball, too, to get a couple of strikeouts.
I think the energy level that he has brought to this game has also picked up the energy level of his teammates.
Well, the rhythm of that starter usually does. He has been getting the baseball, getting on the rubber, and throwing strikes.
Down and in, full count. Brantley, then Carlos Santana, and Jason Giambi here in the 5th. Bounced foul, first base side. .35 out of 50 strikes for Andre Rienzo tonight. He's walked his first. And the Indians have their leadoff man aboard for just the 2nd time tonight.
Well, 2014 season ticket renewals are coming soon, and the investment as an Indian season ticket holder remains among the best in baseball. You'll receive access to the best locations and postseason ticketing priority and many other exclusives.
Brantley held at first by Dunn. Santana takes. Ball 1. Taylor made, but it ate up Ramirez, and everybody's safe. He played it back on that in-between hop, and it just absolutely ate him alive.
He had to. He was blocked out by John Hirschbeck. He was screened. He did not pick the baseball up. Watch this.
That's a good point, Rick.
Watch. That ball comes up, and he's got to get out of the way, and I think it sort of handcuffs Ramirez trying to knock it down. I don't think he had a good view of it. It'll go as a fielder's choice and an error on Ramirez. You see, Hirschbeck had to get out of the way, and look at Ramirez had to lay back on his heels and wait for that ball to come up, and he just was not ready for it.
Pretty good job, though, by John Hirschbeck to get out of the way.
He got out of the way, but that's a break for the Indians.
Can they take advantage of it? Giambi looks at a ball up high. First time tonight. Rienzo's had some trouble to deal with.
Yeah, we'll see what he does out of the stretch like that. You're right with situations, but I thought it was going to be a double play ball, and the Indians catch a break.
Giambi takes a strike. It's 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. When you're Alexi Ramirez and you're having one of those years, things like that tend to happen, don't you? 18 errors, most among shortstops.
This Chicago team, they set a record for their defense last year. They led the league, and I think led all of baseball. Now they have 74 errors. They are ranked 13th in the league.
Chopped foul.
You know, and you go, how can it happen from year to year? But it does. It really does. They were one of the finest fielding teams last year.
Well, you don't think of it in those terms, but I guess you can go through a fielding slump just like you go through a hitting slump.
Yes, you can. But I mean, you don't want your whole team. And if you're middle of the infield, your guys that where it counts are having a tough year. You can see how it can happen.
Giambi lays off a close pitch, a full count.
Okay, he kept the hands back. You know, you talk about this team defensive. They only made 70 errors all last year. That was their 74th.
Wow.
So that's how good they were.
Now the payoff pitch to Giambi. Oh, they ring him up. He thought it was high for ball 4. Instead, that is a huge call that goes Rienzo's way. And the rookie in his major league debut gets a big out.
He went inside. And I mean, there sort of locked him up. I think that might have been a little slider in there, and it locked him up. He was not looking for that pitch in there. Maybe thinking it might have been a little elevated, but boy, he was looking for something out over the plate and didn't get it.
Now Lonnie Chisenhall, who flied to right his first time up. Up high, ball 1. Josh Fegley going to go out and talk. Almost wonder if Rienzo, with that quickened pace, it works so well for him, but when you get runners on base, Fegley might be wanting him to just slow it down a tad.
Well, a lot of times starters will do that. When you get runners on base, their whole tempo changes. They get a lot more deliberate when you get runners on base.
2 on, 1 out here in the 5th. Chisenhall with a smash into right field. Brantley coming around third. He'll have to hold, and the bases are loaded. Lonnie Chisenhall just hit a frozen rope into right field. But Brantley had no chance to get home as Rios got to it quickly because the ball was hit so hard.
Well, you keep it moving. You got a base hit. It was a high fastball that Chisenhall able to turn in the hole. And you can see Beckham can only take a step. It's by him, but you got to be careful. You're down 3 runs. You can't make it out at home plate, so now you have it set up. The table is set. You'll give Gomes an opportunity now to face his countryman and try and get him again.
Gomes got him for a base hit in the 3rd. Now a chance to do some real damage with the Indians down 3. In the dirt, ball 1. Down low, 2 balls, no strikes.
Base hit here, and the Indians are right back in it.
2-0 pitch. Just a bit outside. 3 balls. No strikes.
Check it out. He wants to throw that fastball just a little bit away. Doesn't get that call. He may look in and say, where was it? But that's, now he's got to go in there.
Ball 4. The Indians are on the board. The bases are still loaded. Gomes will pick up his 24th RBI on the year as Brantley comes home to score. 3-1 ball game now. And Michael Bourne coming up as Don Cooper, the pitching coach, goes to the mound.
Yeah, second walk in the inning, and I think that pitch right there that just missed really upset him a little bit. Then he tried to be maybe a little too fine, 3-0, and wanted to throw a strike, and he spiked it. And there's pitching coach Don Cooper out there to try and help him relax a little bit. But the Indians are on the board. They do it without a hit. That walk right there forces one in.
Now it's going to bring up Michael Bourne, who, if you remember his last time up, he hit a ball in the hole between third and short, and Alexi Ramirez made a sensational play to not only get to it, but turn and spin and throw to force out Yan Gomes at second base to end that inning.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to get Bourne at first.
Chopped to first, done. Goes to second, there's one. The return throw, not in time. He might have gotten spiked. Here comes another run to score. The Indians get a pair as Rienzo's hurt.
Yeah, Michael Bourne stepped on his ankle. He was going to first base, and he caught him on the ankle. He's
the
down
Indians
in
have
pain.
tied the game in the most bizarre fashion. Bourne screaming down the line to try to beat it out. He is extremely difficult to double up. It was very close, but you could see Bourne beat him to the bag.
Stepped on his back ankle, his back right ankle. I don't know if it was the Achilles or the ankle.
Well, you could see Rienzo's footwork was all messed up. At one point, I think he was behind the bag with his foot. He was trying to search for it, and it's just one of those unfortunate situations. And Rienzo's talking to the trainers. He wants to stay in the game, but you got to wonder. So the speed of Michael Bourne and the fact that Rienzo was hurt and didn't realize that Lonnie Chisenhall was screaming around third and coming for home, he's able to score.
Now, how about that? They've done that with just one single in the inning. A walk to Brantley to lead it off, an error by the shortstop. And watch the footwork and where Michael steps on the back part of that ankle.
Ouch.
He's on the back part of the bag. Nothing you can do about it. He just gets torn up, and as he's on the ground in pain, the tying run comes across, and they're telling him home, but you can't do anything, man. He's lucky to stay in this game.
He was thinking maybe he had the double play that would have ended the inning. Instead, Bourne beat him. And Chisenhall scampered home, and we are all tied at 3 now. With Bourne at first, and now Nick Swisher 0 for 2 at the plate. Upstairs with it. It's also one of those strange scoring plays where Michael Bourne gets credit with an RBI, but that second run scores simply by advancing. No error, and
yeah, not in that situation. There's nothing you could do.
out of play to the left, and a count 1-2. Now Rienzo, who cruised through the first 4. Remember, he struck out the side in the 4th inning and just overpowered Swisher, Kipnis, and Cabrera to do it.
Well, and they caught a break. He did walk the leadoff hitter, but that double play ball, umpire got in the way, and Ramirez booted it for an error. That left the first 2 guys aboard. He struck out Giambi on a beautiful pitch. Chisenhall got the base hit to move it up. He had the bases loaded. And then he walked Gomes to walk in a run, and then that strange play there, and the Indians scored 3.
One-two pitch. A little bit low, and that'll even the count. And now a full count. So Bourne will be off at first base. He takes off. Swisher lines one toward left field. Viciedo over near the line to cut it off. Bourne coming around third. He'll be stopped there. Going to second base is Swisher. And the Indians have him at second and third with 2 down here in the 5th inning. Nick Swisher picks up his 17th double of the year. Nice piece of hitting. Just went right with it.
I mean, that swing right there. I wish, you could bottle that one. Show Nick that swing right there. He stayed on a pitch down and away. Bourne was running. That was really picture perfect. And he's just going to continue to go to second base. They throw to their cutoff man. And really, they don't even have a chance. They just held it. What a great swing that was.
It's only the second hit in the inning, but already 3 runs in and a chance for the Indians to take the lead now if Jason Kipnis can come through. He's 0 for 2 though. Fly to left in the first, struck out in the 4th. Checks on a ball downstairs. He did not go. Upstairs with it, 2-1. David Percy up in the White Sox bullpen. Three balls and a strike. .32 pitch inning for Andre Rienzo. And a 3-1 count for Kipnis as this crowd wants to see Kipnis deliver a big hit right here. Instead, it's ball 4 and the bases are loaded. The inning continues for Asdrubal Cabrera, who will bat with the bases loaded.
Well, he's looking at that lineup. Do you leave him in there and let him give up the hit? He got himself into this mess, and it looks like he's going to give him a chance to get out of it. This will probably be his last hitter because he did strike Cabrera out the last time. They have the lefty ready, and he'll be ready for Brantley. It should Cabrera reach. But they're going to give the kid a chance.
What a difference one inning can make. In the 4th, he struck out the side. 1, 2, 3. Here in the 5th, he walked the leadoff man, and it has spun out of control since. Asdrubal Cabrera 1 for 2 on the night. And he takes a strike he does not like to call, and he lets Bob Davidson know it. Davidson hearing it from the dugout as well. He's got him going on both sides. Well, my goodness, no wonder.
No kidding. I know it. That's why you say something. All right, it's only strike 1. It's not strike 3.
In the air left field. Viciedo is there. He'll make the catch. That'll end the inning. The Indians leave them loaded, but they come back and tie the game at 3. And Daily will introduce you to the new players, cover all the roster moves, and bring you expert analysis as the Browns prepare for the upcoming season. It's Training Camp Daily tonight at 11:30 on Sports Time Ohio. Scott Kazmir out here for the 6th inning.
Maybe a few holes in that mound he wants to repair. So, yeah, they're going to go get a few tools.
Take a look at our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Adam Dunn with a 2-out, 2-run double in the first take Chicago to the early lead. They would add a run on a disputed call at home plate. He was out, but he was called safe, 3-0. Then the Indians came back. Close play at first, but Bourne beat him to the bag, and then Rienzo, who was in pain, didn't realize Lonnie Chisenhall was coming around with the tying run. The Indians scoring 3 times in that 5th inning on just 2 hits. A bases-loaded walk and that bizarre play at first base.
That was a bizarre play. The kid ended up getting through the inning, although he had to face 9 hitters. But it's a new ball game now, and Kazmir waiting for them to come out and maybe fill a couple of holes that are out on the mound.
Well, while they figure out the maintenance here, let's go back to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, man, Rick, pretty good pitchers duel going in Detroit tonight. Washington and the Tigers tied at 1. Base hit by Andy Dirks here, a double. Tied the game back in the 4th inning, so they're even. Strasburg on the hill for Washington. Sanchez for Detroit. Bottom of the 6th, tied at 1. Matt?
That can't be Al we're listening to, is it? He must have a frog in his throat.
Al, a little salt water maybe. Oh, gargle.
That's right.
Well,
Make it warm, Al.
There's the updated standings. Yeah, here at Sports Time Ohio, you got to play hurt sometimes.
Boy, that's...
Kansas City, and you and I were talking about this before the game as they wait. I'm assuming they're waiting on the grounds crew.
Yeah, they are.
But, you know, we talk about so many different statistics during the year, but the one that you and I both like is run differential. How many have you scored? How many have you given up? And for the Kansas City Royals, they're on the wrong end of that, but yet there they are still scratching and clawing right there at that 500 mark. Coming into today's game, though, Kansas City had given up 1 more run than they had scored this year.
And they've had pretty good pitching, though, when it all comes down to it, because you look at Kansas City, although they are starting to go down a little bit now. No, I'm sorry, they're second in the league in pitching. So their offense has not been what everybody thought it was going to be.
No home runs. They don't hit the home run ball.
Right. But they have a chance to get over the 500 mark, and we'll see.
Well, while they repair the mound, let's go back and look at that 5th inning for the Tribe. This looked like a double play ball, and yet Hirschbeck screened Ramirez unintentionally a little bit. He booted the ball. Then you get the bases loaded walk. That got the Indians on the board. And then what potentially could have been another double play. They get one, but Rienzo can't get to the bag in time, and then he gets inadvertently stepped on by Michael Bourne. And while he's rolling around on the ground, Lonnie Chisenhall just kept going.
That goes to show you how tough a 3-6-1 double play is. As a pitcher, you have got to get over there as quickly as possible. It's tough for the guy to lead him to first base. So your footwork gets a little messed up going down the line, and not an easy play. So the Indians ended up lucking out in that inning and got 3 on the board, and they are just going to pack that whole piece out in front of the rubber down, water it down.
If you're the White Sox, all you're doing right now is talking about the double plays you don't turn.
Yeah.
Oh, how they come back to get you in this game.
Yes, they do. It's the plays that aren't made that, you know, you have an opportunity to make them. And actually, that one with Ramirez, there's nothing he can do about it. The umpire, the ball was hit right in his way. And maybe, we don't know, from where we're sitting, didn't look like it blocked him. But the way he went after the ball, he had to move back. It certainly did impact him seeing the baseball on that play.
All right, Scott Kazmir will give the new mound a test run here.
Well, it just gives him an opportunity. See, he's not falling in a hole right there, and it's packed in. He doesn't dig it out like a lot of people do.
Well, I noticed he was digging at it earlier in the game, and there must have been something.
Well, the other guy. must dig a hole, and
Maybe that's what it was.
Sure,
yeah.
he digs a hole, and it's probably right where the spot where you're pitching from. Rienzo, he may throw from the same side of the rubber, and sometimes it'll bother pitchers.
Well, after all that, through 5 innings, they're both at about the exact same number of pitches. 80 for Kazmir, 79 for Rienzo. Tribe bullpen is active as Kazmir starts this inning against Paul Konerko. Kazmir got off to a little bit of a rocky start in this one, has retired 7 of the last 8 Chicago hitters. Oh, nice change of pace. Had Konerko fooled, and that doesn't happen often. 0-2.
Well, he'll step out and readjust now with 2 strikes. Now that thought process will be stay on the ball and try and go the other way. He'll stay back with everything and just try and shoot it the other way.
Wow. Two balls and 2 strikes. Checked his swing. Almost like a bunt. Gomes can't get the throw off because Kazmir was in his way. And are you kidding me? Paul Konerko just got an infield single. Mark that one down.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it was a communication breakdown here. Both of them could have made the play. You got one of the slowest runners in the game. Now, Kazmir wants to make the play, but Gomes doesn't let him, and he didn't have a grip of the baseball, and he just ended up holding on to it. They both could have made the play, but someone's got to call the other one off.
Adam Dunn, 1 for 2 on the night. Bloop toward left. That's going to drop for a base hit. Brantley will have to play it on a bounce. Might have broken his bat.
It sounded like it. So back come the Sox. Get their first 2 men aboard. And an infield single. It did. It got down in there and a little bloop. And that's going to do it for Kazmir, I believe.
Yeah, that's it. He's already made the move to the bullpen. A check swing 40-foot single and a broken bat blooper to left. And Scott Kazmir gets the early hook. Today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. It will be Matt Albers coming on when we come back. 6 now with their first 2 on. Matt Albers into the ball game out of the bullpen. He's got Jeff Keppinger to face first. 33rd appearance, 2-1 at 2.95 ERA.
All right, he's coming out in a situation where, you know, you'd love to see a ground ball. Albers has a good sinker. And looking for a ground ball double play here.
While you were gone during the break there, Robin Ventura and the White Sox training staff, they came out to look at Paul Konerko at second base. But he stays in the game. Ground ball right at the third baseman Chisenhall. To second for 1. On to first. Double play.
How about that? 1 pitch, you turn 2. That's well done.
Second time tonight they've gone around the horn. Looked like Lonnie Chisenhall had a notion, maybe just for an instant, to go to the bag first.
No.
But he wisely just went right to second base.
Well, watch. That's his backhand. No, you go and get 2. There's no speed on the bases. So you might as well just go get 2. Let your pitcher come back and try and get this third out here. Konerko goes to third base. Well done coming out of that bullpen. You can't do it any better if you're Matt Albers. 1 pitch, 2 outs.
Second straight inning, they've gone 5-4-3 on the double play. Dayan Viciedo 0 for 2 will be the batter now. They came out to look at Konerko. I didn't get to finish that thought because he was out there at second base and he was stretching head to toe and looked like he was trying to get his hamstrings loose. So I think they went out to look at him and say, "Are you okay?" Because he's just coming off the DL 8 games ago with a back problem. He doesn't leg out many infield hits, which he just did a couple of moments ago. But they looked him over and deemed he was okay to stay in the game. 2-0 the count here on Viciedo. Guy with a 6-game hitting streak coming in. 11 hits in his last 23 at-bats. Chop towards third. It's a foul ball. Swung on and missed. Good fastball, and Viciedo comes up empty. 2-2 the count. And the 2-2. Bullet off the glove of Kipnis, and the White Sox regain the lead. 4-3 Chicago as Viciedo comes up with a 2-out RBI single on a 2-2 pitch.
You talk about a bullet, that was. That almost knocked Kipnis over. He got leather on it, but it was hit so hard. I mean, that ball was rifled. He gave him a little swinging room. And look at Kipnis. He took a step, and it goes off the end of his glove. So they get a big 2-out base hit. They take a 4-3 lead. That run will be charged to Scott Kazmir.
Hit off the plate. Kipnis will have to unload in a hurry. And a nice backhanded grab by Santana ends the inning. Chicago comes back. They add a tally here in the 6th. They lead it 4-3. White Sox lead it 4-3 now as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Michael Brantley will lead off for the Tribe, and Andre Rienzo in his major league debut. Scoreless through the first 4. The Indians sent 9 men to the plate in the 5th and scored 3 times to tie it at that time. And now Rienzo back out here for the 6th. He walked Brantley to start that 5th inning. Big curveball misses up high for ball 1. Fly ball to left field. And Viciedo will grab that one away. Here's the answer now to the AT&T trivia question. Who are the 3 Indians who have hit that walk-off homer at age 40 or older?
Well, we saw one last night.
Jason Giambi.
How about Frank Robinson and Eddie Murray?
Carlos Santana, 0 for 2 on the night. Curveball and a swing and a miss. Oh, and 2 quickly the count on Carlos. And he's out looking. 2 down. Let's go downstairs once again, check in with Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, the guys in the Indians clubhouse today told me they were not surprised when they heard that Jason Giambi broke Hank Aaron's record. They said they know G's that old. But all kidding aside, Asdrubal Cabrera told me that Giambi's just still that good, and they don't tease him because they respect him that much. And then he added he hopes that when he's that old, he can still do what Giambi does.
Well, that's pretty impressive, the way he is still able to swing the bat and turn on a pitch.
He's still quick. Still got a quick bat. A lot of times when you get older, you have to cheat, to catch up to fastballs. This guy doesn't have to do that. He is still quick through the hitting area, no question about it.
So he's at first representing the tying run, and Lonnie Chisenhall, the batter, 1 for 2. He got a high fastball and rifled a single into right field his last time up. Chisenhall sends one high in the air to right field. Back is Rios, and he'll make the catch. 6 complete. It's the White Sox 4 and the Indians 3. brought to you by Panini's with 18 locations in Northeast Ohio, and by Levin. Gorgeous look at the skyline on a beautiful sunset in downtown Cleveland from our Panini cam, brought to you by Panini's Bar and Grill. Josh Fegley to lead off this 7th inning now for the White Sox, who lead it 4-3. Matt Albers with the first pitch strike. Little tapper out in front. This time Gomes will take it himself, and he throws him out one away. That's what led to the White Sox getting the go-ahead run across in the 6th inning, that very play.
Well, you want to make a date for the two-night Rock and Blast Fireworks Spectacular, which will take place August 9th and 10th. The Indians will host the LA Angels, and fans will be treated to an expanded fireworks display. It'll pay tribute to the Rolling Stones' 50th anniversary.
Fouled back. Alejandro De Aza down on the count 0-1. Here's the pitch. In the air to left. Brantley, a long run. He makes the catch on the warning track for out number 2. Terrific play by Michael Brantley. Take another look at Brantley, who got a good jump, and then really, he had the hammer down. He's going full tilt.
That ball's going to slice away from him as well because of the left-hander, but no problem for Michael. Covers some ground out there and puts it away easily.
Well, the latest trade rumor involving the Chicago White Sox and their pitcher Jake Peavy, who was scratched from his scheduled start tonight. According to internet reports, the White Sox, the Angels, and the Diamondbacks are talking about a 3-team trade that would send Peavy to Arizona. Ian Kennedy would go from Arizona to Anaheim, and it's not clear at this time as to who Chicago would receive in the trade, but you can guess it's potentially some prospects of some sort. Tomorrow's trading deadline is at 4 p.m., and so that's the latest hot rumor. 2-0 pitch. A strike call. The one thing that we do know from over the years, when you add that third team to the mix, it gets more complicated.
Yeah, I would imagine. That's what Chris Antonetti has told us. You know, the more people involved, the more difficult it is.
2-1 pitch. More likely, those are the kind of deals you see in the offseason where you've got more time to sort it all out. Whether or not this is something they've already discussed in the past and maybe put it on the back burner and now they're revisiting, we don't know.
That's true. Well, we'll find out in less than 24 hours.
3-1 pitch fouled into the crowd. For the White Sox, 4 runs on 10 hits tonight. 1 error, they've left 4. The Indians, 3 runs on 5 hits. No errors, they've stranded 5. The payoff pitch. Slowly chopped to short as Dribble Cabrera got a big hop. Throws him out. White Sox go 1-2-3. It's time now for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Life is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. As we move to the bottom of the 7th inning, and Andre Rienzo, the Brazilian rookie making his major league debut here tonight, comes back out for the bottom of the 7th. Facing his fellow countryman Yan Gomes, who singled off of him in the 3rd, then drew a bases loaded walk in the 5th. One ball, one strike. Fastball and a good one. Gomes takes it to strike.
I'll tell you what, this guy has been outstanding when he's pitched from the full windup. The only trouble and issue he had was in that 5th inning. He ran into a little trouble out of the stretch, but he's been dynamite here. Look at that. I mean, that hook has been nasty.
That's his 6th strikeout tonight. One down in the 7th.
I mean, you watch it. He has dazzled a few of these hitters today with that curveball. Great bite to it right on the outside edge. And he got the call. This kid, he battled because he was limping around. They scored the tying run when he was on the ground. And boy, he battled his way to stay in here, and he is working hard to get through this 7th.
Michael Bourne takes a strike. Bourne, the fielder's choice in the 5th, that pushed across the Indians' 2nd run, and then eventually the tying run came around and scored on the same play. Rounded right to the second baseman, Beckham. 2 down. Now Rienzo didn't have a strikeout until the 4th. Then he got Swisher looking.
That was the heater.
High pitch to Kipnis.
Slider, another fastball up. Slider. Curveball. Curveball. He's got pretty good stuff. He doesn't light up the radar gun, but he's got a nice little slider, a changeup, that big curveball. And he has thrown a lot of strikes.
Two balls and no strikes. The count now on Nick Swisher. And now it's 3-0. What's been impressive about Rienzo is after that long fifth inning in which the Indians scored 3, they loaded the bases after that. He came right back, pitched a scoreless 6th, and he's 1 out away from getting through the 7th inning now. Beckham with an easy play, throws him out. Tribe goes 1-2-3. We head into the 8th. 4-3 Chicago. Presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. "4-3 Chicago, 8th inning now. And for the White Sox, Alex Rios, Paul Konerko, and Adam Dunn. Double barrel activity in the Indians bullpen. Albers has already worked 2 innings. Rios might have caught himself with a...
Yeah, it sounded like a big thud when that ball went into the ground. That means his foot will have to go straight down. Ouch.
Ooh.
Yeah. That hurts.
A 1-1 pitch. Bullseye to even the count of 2-2. Low, a full count. Rios, then Paul Konerko and Adam Dunn here in the 8th inning for the White Sox. Albers fires, and it's grounded foul.
Well, they're coming out for Rios here.
He's still limping on that left foot. He's having a tough time putting pressure on it.
He feels something in
right
there, I think,
on the
when he
foot.
put that foot down to hit that last pitch. Obviously, he had to feel something.
Well, if there's any truth to those rumors that we were talking about where Rios is potentially being talked about in a trade, right now their general manager, Rick Hahn, is going, oh, boy.
Well, looks like he wants out.
Well, if you can't put any pressure on it,
he's trying.
You can't run
He's
down the first
out.
baseline if you do get a hit.
He's coming out.
Yep. Exit stage right for Alex Rios. Whoever it is that's going to come in will be coming into a situation with a 3-ball, 2-strike count. And while they figure that out, let's go back to the studios for an in-game update with Al.
Hey, Matt, Detroit has come back against the Washington Nationals. Alex Avila, a grand slam here in the 6th inning. That's his 7th homer of the year, but it's been the difference thus far. 5-1, Detroit leads Washington. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning in Motown. Matt?
Boy, another grand salami for Detroit. So Casper Wells will come on here to pinch hit for Alex Rios with a 3-2 count.
This is always fun. You got one swing.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it better be a ball and you go to first base. And I mean, you've been sitting for 3 hours. Well, not quite 3, 2.5.
Broken bat, bouncer to short. As Drupal Cabrera
He put it
will
in play.
throw him out. 1 down.
That's a hang with a big guy.
Baseball can be a cruel sport sometimes.
Yes, indeed.
In-game box score from your local Hyundai dealers. The difference right now in the game, the White Sox taking a page from the Indians' offensive playbook. The 2-out RBI hit. It was a 2-out, 2-run double by Dunn in the first, and a 2-out RBI single by Viciedo in the 6th.
This is a guy that got the 6th inning started with an infield single.
Yeah, an excuse me swing. And what happened was the ball got caught halfway between the pitcher Kazmir and the catcher Gomes, and they both went for it at the same time. Gomes picked it up, but he couldn't get the throw off because Kazmir was right on top of him. And just one of those unfortunate plays, and eventually Konerko came around to score what is the difference in this game right now. Oh, what an outing for Matt Albers. Talk about terrific work, 2 2/3 innings. Scoreless relief. Today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Rich Hill, left-hander, coming on when we come back. promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by, my bad. My bad, I got ahead of myself. It's the way back. This summer's movie was something for everyone now playing. Miller time is still coming.
We're teasing you with it, man. You're not going to have it quite yet.
Inning ahead of myself. Rich Hill on for the Tribe, facing Adam Dunn here with 2 outs and the bases empty.
He came on last night to face Dunn and got a big strikeout back in the 8th inning of last night's game. So he comes back in, and when you're the only left-hander out of that pen, you have a tendency to face the same guy a number of times.
And a strike called. 1-1 to count.
This is where you come in when Hill has to face him as often as he does. You just don't want to make a mistake, because if you miss your spot and you hang one to him, he can hit it a long way, and one swing can give him a run.
Well, presumably, Rick, with the trade earlier today, Mark Zepchinski will give the Indians a second left-hander
if he comes
for
up
that
here.
bullpen. The 1-2 pitch.
Wow. Oh. Nissan pitch tracker, I got to look at you this time. Where is it? That's a big man at the plate.
That's a strike. It's right there.
It's a big man at the plate. What is it, high? It can't be high. 6'6".
Now the 2-2. I mean, if you're going to call that pitch earlier in the night on Jason Giambi strike 3 called, then that's got to be a strike.
Well, this wasn't bad either. Follows it up with an excellent slider or a breaking ball. Maybe a little off.
The 3-2 pitch. Hit foul. Dunn getting more than the required 3 strikes in this at bat. Hill ready, the payoff pitch. And Dunn fouls it off. (4-3) Chicago here in the top half of the 8th inning. Rich Hill trying to retire Dunn and keep it a 1-run deficit. Again, the 3-2. Now, Bob Davidson, I mean, come on. He's telling Rich Hill that pitch was outside, but what about the pitch 3 pitches ago that was right down the middle of the plate? What was wrong with that one? We've got a timeout for another move to the bullpen. Today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Who's coming out this time? Brian Shaw will be coming on now when we come back. And now Brian Shaw coming on for the Indians. His 43rd appearance of the year. He'll be facing Jeff Keppinger. Dunn, who walked thanks to a generous strike zone, or a less than generous strike zone. Jeff Keppinger has flied out, fouled out, and hit into a double play tonight. Outside ball one. Hey, there's a strike called. Broke his bat, right back to Shaw. And that'll end the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th now. Tribe down a run, 4-3. Inning. The White Sox go to their bullpen for the first time tonight, and they go for left-hander Donnie Veal. Veal worked 2/3 of a scoreless inning last night, walked one, struck out one, gave up a hit. 24th appearance on the year. And Casper Wells, who came on to bat when Alex Rios had to leave the game when he fouled a pitch off of his foot, stays in the game in right field. Jason Kipnis has Dribble Cabrera and Michael Brantley due for the Tribe here in the 8th. Donnie Veal has had his moments this year where
he had his issues against left-handed hitters is what happened.
You know, last night he pitched okay.
He gave up a hit to Kipnis. Back up the middle. I'll tell you, Rienzo really, he was pretty impressive today.
For his major league debut?
Yeah, 7 innings. Kid went out there and battled. He had the one bad inning, and it was like a freaky inning. The Tribe got their 3 runs, but they only have 5 hits.
2-0 the count for Kipnis. Indians scored in that 5th inning on a bases loaded walk and a fielder's choice that scored 2 runs. Slowly chapped by the mound. Beckham on the move, gets rid of it in a hurry. And Kipnis is out number 1 on a 2-0 pitch. Just beat one into the dirt. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. On this date back in 2008, Kelly Shopik had a day to remember. 5 for 6 in the ball game, all 5 hits for extra bases. 2 homers, 3 doubles, 3 runs batted in.
Yeah, I remember that night. What a night that was for him.
5 hours, 33 minutes, 526 total pitches in that game, as the Indians would lose in 13 innings, 14-12 to the Detroit Tigers. The 1-0 pitch. Hit to third, it's by Keppinger. And Asdrubal Cabrera rounds first with a 1-out single here in the 8th.
Well, there's a case where you're playing on the line to take the double away, and you end up getting a single. But they're saying, okay, there's no double. But there's a case. Look at him. He is on the line. And Cabrera, that's normal depth. I mean, routine. If he's in his normal position, it's an easy out. Now you're playing no doubles. There's a single right there. So they get a 1-out single, tying run aboard.
You know, and I understand, because Buddy Bell, I remember we used to have this conversation about the no doubles defense. He wasn't necessarily a big fan of it.
As far as the infielders being on the line.
And that play illustrated it perfectly as Michael Brantley steps in. Because Buddy's contention is, if you're going to line up and you're going to play third base where Keppinger was, the only play you can make going to your right is in foul territory. It's a foul ball anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're going to play that close to the line, it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
you can play close enough so that one step you're on the line.
Everybody likes to do it differently. Ventura was a third baseman himself, and, I'm sure he played for managers that did it. And
Brantley sends one to center field, routine for Diaz. 2 down.
You can talk about it. It's all what you like to do and what you choose to do as a team. They did it, but they wasn't a double, but they did give up a single.
Now Carlos Santana, the batter here. The Indians just offensively tonight haven't been able to get anything rolling. Their best chance came in that 5th inning after a double by Swisher and then a walk to Kipnis loaded the bases with 2 outs. And then Asdrubal Cabrera, on another bad call by the umpire, was down on the count early and then flied out to left to end that inning. Talked about the 2-out hits. The 2-out hit is what really got the White Sox going tonight. And in that case, had Cabrera come through with a 2-out hit there, it would have knocked Rienzo out of the game. And it might have really gotten the Indians a commanding lead at that point. The 1-0 pitch. Santana takes low, 2-0. Donnie Veal is behind Santana now, 3-0, with Jason Giambi waiting on deck. Cabrera the runner at first with 2 gone. Santana stepping away. No breeze at all tonight. And the 3-1 pitch is fouled back out of play. Two down, last half of the 8th. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count for Santana. Cabrera still being held at first, but he'll be off on the 3-2 pitch. Santana juices one left center field. It's in the alley. Piazza cuts it off. His throw's towards second base, and Cabrera holds at third. Nice job by Alejandro Piazza just to cut that ball off. If it gets by him, the Indians tie the game. Cabrera is at third with the tying run. Santana aboard at first.
Well, he throws him the breaking ball, and he left it middle of the plate, and Santana took advantage of it. The high leg kick, he was able to stay back on it and find the gap. He couldn't drive it. Piazza cuts it off, and Cabrera's not able to score, so he has to hold up at third base. But they do get the tying run 90 feet away. First and third, 2 outs. We're going to get a pinch hitter for Giambi. Let's see if...
It'll be Ryan Rayburn.
Yeah, Rayburn. Let's see if... Yes, he is. He's waiting for him to be announced. Robin Ventura is going to walk out. And I think Lindstrom was throwing in their bullpen. So he'll go for the right-hander, I would imagine. There it is. There's the call. Lefty Veal is done for the night. There is Lindstrom. He'll be coming on.
All right, so we've got a timeout here at Progressive Field. The Indians trying to come back here in the bottom of the 8th. They've got 2 on with 2 out. We'll be right back. Here on Sports Time Ohio, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Al and Jason will have the highlights. We'll have some analysis. Katie will have reaction from the clubhouse. It's all straight ahead. Right now, the wheels are in motion on both sides. Matt Lindstrom coming into the ballgame for Chicago. Right-hander making his 52nd appearance of the year. 2-3, a .332 earned run average. He'll be facing the pinch hitter Ryan Rayburn. And a pinch runner, Drew Stubbs, has taken over for Carlos Santana now at first base.
Yeah, that'll end up, you get the speed and the go-ahead run on first base. He'll go to right field. Swisher will come in at first base. So they're looking for a base hit here from Ryan Rayburn.
Ryan Rayburn on the year as a pinch hitter is 0 for 4. Fouled back out of play. 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Matt Lindstrom. As Dribble Cabrera the tying run at third base. Stubbs the go-ahead run at first. Stubbs takes off. Pitch is inside, no throw down, and Drew Stubbs With the stolen base uncontested, that gives him 11 steals on the year.
Yeah, I like that. Like that a lot. You know they're not going to throw through and take that chance, so now a base hit, and the Indians can take the lead. That's why you run Stubbs. There you go. You got what you want out there now. Now it's going to take a 2-out base hit.
Lindstrom's 1-1 pitch. Line drive, base hit up the middle. Here comes Cabrera with the tying run. Stubbs on his way to the plate with the go-ahead run. He is safe. Ryan Rayburn off the bench delivers in the clutch with a 2-out, 2-run single in the bottom of the 8th to put the Indians on top 5-4.
Boy, you couldn't draw it up any better. And that's what it comes down to, the execution. You pinch hit, you steal a base, you pinch run. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. He picked on a breaking ball that he left upstairs. And Ryan Rayburn right up the middle. Stubbs is going to score. He's going to slide. And Terry Francona couldn't have done it any better. The Indians take a 5-4 lead.
And now Lonnie Chisenhall steps in. And he lines a base hit into center field. Rayburn stops at second. 3 straight 2-out hits in the inning. The Tribe has 4 hits here in the 8th. They had 5 hits in the game coming into this inning. And the joint is jumping as the Indians have come back with 2 in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead.
Well, they get that feeling. They're at home, and that's the way they've been doing it. I think since the end of April, they have had that feeling here in this ballpark.
All right, here now is Yan Gomes. 1 for 2, a bases loaded walk, drove in a run in the 5th inning. Low and away, ball 1. Oh, those 2-out RBI hits. The Indians were starving for them earlier in the game, but they came up with the big ones here in the 8th.
3 in the 8th. 3 for 3 off that Chicago bullpen.
Gomes drives one. Right field. Wells can't get it. It'll go to the wall. Here comes Rayburn. Chisenhall racing home. He scores 2. Yan Gomes delivers with a 2-out, 2-run double. A 4-run 8th inning, and the Indians have taken a commanding 7-4 lead.
Well, that's their calling card. They just dropped it right on the White Sox bullpen. And I mean, this ball driven to right center field. That ball down, away. Gomes stayed on it nicely. And he will get his 9th double. And he will get his 3rd RBI of the night as they both come in to score. It is now 7-4 Tribe.
9th double on the year for Yan Gomes as Michael Bourne shoots one out of play. The Indians have come back with a vengeance here in this 8th inning. And they've now totaled 10 hits on the night. 4 straight 2-out hits in the inning. How many times have you said it? You get that first one, especially the first 2-out RBI hit, and it's like the floodgates just
It takes
bust
pressure
open.
off. It seems to take pressure off of everybody else, whoever can get that first one. And everybody just seems to follow suit. It takes a lot of pressure off. And they're the toughest hit to get. But when you can get one, and they have done it consistently all year long.
Ryan Rayburn, the big pinch hit, 2-run single.
None bigger than Rayburn's.
Well, last night it was a pinch hit walk-off home run by Giambi. Tonight it's Rayburn who pinch hits for Giambi.
Right.
And delivers the big hit.
And this is normally a team that doesn't pinch hit a lot when you're looking at the Indians. I mean, you think about it, that was just their 30th pinch hit tonight. And their 9th hit.
3-1. Fouled away. So Michael Bourne with a 3-2 count. As Drupal Cabrera got the first hit in the inning with 1 out. And then with 2 outs, it was Carlos Santana who singled, sending Cabrera to third. They pinch ran for him with Stubbs. And then Rayburn delivered. Chisenhall singled. Gomes a 2-run double. And now a 3-2 count for Bourne. Swung on and missed, and the inning is over. But the Indians, listen to this crowd. They're loving it tonight. 4 runs in the 8th. Indians on top 7-4. Total Car Care. All the highlights, the reaction, coming your way next. But first, Chris Perez will try to nail this one down in the win column for the Indians. Perez on the year with 14 saves. He's got the bottom third of the White Sox order due up here.
Well, Stubbs stays in the game. He goes to right field. Swisher from right moves into first base. So they got their defense set. I mean, nothing could have worked out better in that inning for the Indians than what happened. That was pretty much a perfect inning for them.
Managing has to be a whole lot of fun when you make those moves and the players execute and it all comes
it looks easy,
together.
It looks fun, and you know there's how many times though your intentions are the exact same and that you don't get the hit or something doesn't happen and it looks like it goes wrong.
Lonnie Chisenhall with a good feed to first for out number 1. Looking back at our keys to the game, brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital. Scott Kazmir looking to make it 8 straight strong starting appearances. He scuffled early, but then he got into a pretty good rhythm, and then a couple of bad breaks got him knocked out in that 6th inning. And the Indians, they had a tough time against Andre Rienzo. They were lucky to scratch out the 3 runs against him that they did. He was very good in his major league debut here tonight. Ground ball by Lonnie Chisenhall. On his way to second base is Gordon Beckham. He's got his second double of the night. And this is where we go back to our conversation earlier.
Well, it's a 3-run game. You're not going to guard the line there. 3-run game. 1-run game is different.
Sure.
Okay, I can understand the 1-run. 3-1 game, no. He ended up pulling the ball. That's the way I look at it. That's the pitcher's mistake and not making his pitch.
Connor Gillespie pinch hitting for Josh Figley here. And a pitch, a called strike. Chris Perez, the 0-1 pitch, right back to him. He doesn't care about that runner at second base.
The out.
2 down.
He thought about it though, didn't he? I mean, just reaction. He would have went after him in a different situation, but you get the out.
The executive producer for Sports Time Ohio is Tom Farmer, coordinating producer Steve Warren. Tonight's game being produced by Jim Murphy, directed by Pat Murray. Indians Live produced by Mike Bachman. Associate producers Mike Pacta and Steve Bardo. Technical director Dan Larson. Creative consultant Mark Koha. Two down here in the ninth. Alejandro De Aza with a runner at third. Bangs one to third base. Lonnie Chisenhall sets, throws, got him, and the Indians stay hot. They've won their 6th straight, and they are now a season best 10 games over 500 at 58 and 48 on the year. A thrilling come from behind win for the Indians here tonight with 3 in the 5th and then 4 in the 8th. To upend Chicago 7-4 is the final score here tonight. And it's time now for our key play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, you want to talk about a clutch at bat. You get the base hit up the middle. 2 runs come around to score after the stolen base. And they take the lead. They were able to add on from that point on. That is going to be our KeyBank key play of the game. High fives all around, and get a free Kindle Fire HD when you sign up for a new checking account. Some restrictions apply.
Well, the Indians stay red hot. They win over Chicago tonight 7-4. They won the first 2 in the series. Game 3 comes your way tomorrow night. We've got some final thoughts coming up right after this.